You're welcome. That was Wig. Wig by Kim Zolciak. She has dropped her next song. And as one of my guests pointed out, she's boldly smoking a cigarette on the cover. And it's one song, so I don't know what it's a cover of, but it's actually unbelievable. I love it so much. And I'm going to bring out my co-host. Danielle is once again filming in Atlanta. This is the last time. Next week, she will be back with Ira Madison. Very exciting. But I have some very special guests. This is a very special episode. I have someone who's recently become a dear friend. I have a hilarious guest. And then I have two actually fan recommendations sitting here in the Nook. It's tight. It's tight in here.
Comfortable.
Feeling good.
Cozy.
Please welcome my co-host, Blair Beeken.
Hi, what's up?
I love it, Blair.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
I'm so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to see you in your street clothes.
I was thinking that too. I thought your tank looked cute.
Thanks.
We both have on white Vans.
And
Did
your
you notice
stripes
that?
look nice.
Thank you so much.
The reason Blair and I don't see each other in civilian clothes, street clothes is because we met in Lacey Stone's boot camp. Mm-hmm. 2 weeks to change.
Yeah, right when I walked in, you were the first person I saw, and I thought, she looks safe. So I went for you. Yeah.
And you come out of Second City, and we have a friend, Brian Gallivan, in common, so that was thrilling.
Yeah, that's what threaded us together.
And immediately I liked that because it is a bit like Wild Wild Country, with Lacey being Rajneesh and Sheila. but in a great way. Like, she's
Absolutely.
not chopping up beavers and putting it in our water.
That we know of.
Yeah. But I like how you and I started as like anthropologists, just like observers, like on the outskirts. Like, what is this group?
Yeah, and I'm in deep.
You are in so deep. And these are lovely women to be in deep with.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, it's what I was looking for in LA. Like, I didn't have that here. Like, just a bunch of women that all have different backgrounds. They're all positive. They're all looking to change. And
they're looking to change in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Be their best selves.
Yeah.
It's great.
I love it. I know. It's like a sports team. Is
Yeah.
that what you call it? A sports team?
It's like a sports team. Yeah.
Blair, but you're also a Bravo fanatic.
I am.
And you're getting into some...
Yeah, I don't just like the Housewives. I like to go to the D-list shows. Like Summer House is one of my all-time faves. I like Below Deck Med.
Now, when you told me you like Below Deck Med, I thought you meant like this was below deck. There's like doctors running around. I truly did. I was like, interesting twist.
Yeah,
like there's surgery on the seas.
There's surgery on the scene, and they're drinking and they're fucking each other.
I love it. And you pointed out that there's actually lesbians on.
Yes. Below Deck is it's one of the only Bravo shows, I think, that features lesbians.
Yeah.
I mean, Captain Sandy she drives the big boat in the Mediterranean.
Well,
yeah, and she's
I love it.
She's a seasoned lesbian. She's gorgeous. There's her, and then every once in a while they'll have like a lesbian deckhand, which is it's good to have a little representation out there. You know,
I love it. No, you pointed that out to me, and I agree. I've always said, like, where are the lesbians and where are the bigger gals?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I think I've heard you say why there aren't bigger gals, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then the lesbians, I mean, where are they in general? Like, not even just on Bravo? Like
in life?
In life, there just aren't that many.
Well,
or they're at
if
home
anyone's
a
out
lot.
there and you're like in Blair's voice. I love it.
The other shows I like Summer House and Vanderpump, all those shows. I prefer them either like older, like the people on the show to be older, or younger. Like, I don't like usually if they're like my age, I'm not that into it. I want them to be, or if they're my age, they need to be single and they need to be partying and kind of like destroying their
I feel
lives.
like on Southern Charm, they're right in that age range and they're getting tired of partying. And I need them to pep up a little.
Yeah, it's like you have to go all in. Like, the Vanderpump crew, they're all in. Yeah. Like, they'll get fucked up Monday, Tuesday, like every night of the week, they'll do it. That's what they have to do.
They do their jobs.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing his job, I don't have a segue beyond that, but because I don't even know what your job is, but I think it's comedian.
Yeah, comedian, and I'm a writer too. A ghostwriter, co-writer. Yeah.
I love it. Did you ghostwrite Carol's book?
No, I wish I did, but I may or may not be working with Bravo Liberty. I'm not allowed to say.
Can you mouth?
I can tell you.
Yeah. Who?
I can't say.
I saw.
What?
Wow. That means we've had 2 ghostwriters on, Brian Moylan for Erica Jane. But I love that she was just out, open, proud, and free with it.
Right. Yeah, some of them aren't. Some of them don't want like that
So
out
sorry
there.
to circle back, but do you think Erica Jane could be a lesbian?
Oh, God.
Hear me out.
No, I mean, if so, like, I'm not interested.
Wow.
Like,
Okay. That was hard.
why do you think so?
I just feel it.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Do you feel it?
I don't feel it. No, but I know what you're saying. I could see I could see her being bisexual. I get that vibe from her.
Yeah, I mean, and it is all a spectrum anyway. Anyone who says it's not is wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But so she could be somewhere in the middle. I mean, she's wild. I think she's up for anything.
Okay, so she's on the spectrum.
Patting that puss.
Patting that puss. Okay, everyone, the voice you're
Hi.
hearing so crassly and beautifully saying patting that puss is Danny Pelligrino. Danny, you are hilarious. You were nominated by my sister-in-law, Shira Weiss, Shira Casp Weiss, and she was like, get thee to Danny's Instagram immediately. He is so funny, and you're actually you just started your own podcast.
Yeah, it's called Everything Iconic, and I've had some housewives on, and we talk a little bit about housewives and stuff.
See, I love that you have them on and interact. I'm too scared.
Well, you know what? We're moving away from it because it is terrifying, and it's hard to book and deal with. You're dealing with like 30 people at a time, and it's difficult. So
I know.
We're moving away from it.
What do you just cover? Like Bravo, or what else are you?
No, it's like all sort of pop culture stuff. We do 2 episodes a week. So one episode is about like one specific pop culture thing, and it's usually like nostalgia based. So we just did like a First Wives Club episode or like an MTV Newlyweds episode. And then the second show during the week is a Bravo episode.
Wow. I love that you're cranking out 2 a week. Can I nominate a show for nostalgia?
Yeah, what do you want?
Bobby and Whitney.
Yes, I'd love that. Bobby!
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 Bobby B! I'll tell
she
you, I just watched her documentary. It's riveting and so sad and amazing.
She was the best, one of a kind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I hate
Greatest.
to backtrack. MTV Newlyweds? I feel like I still watch
my
MTV,
God.
so I'm
Can
Can you just remind me?
I rewatched it. It was Nick and Jessica when they first got
Oh,
married.
gosh,
it was 3
yeah.
years.
Oh, sure.
Jessica was doing the baby voice. It's the best
Yes.
rewatch, of all time. It's amazing to just watch these 2. And it's so weird. It's like a different kind of reality show, and there's not a lot going on. It's like them going to chain restaurants.
Love
and it's
it.
like they're not even mic'd half the time, so it's like a lot of boom mics. It's weird.
love
It's
it.
bizarre, but it's good.
I watched in a total moment of desperation a few weeks ago, Leanne Rimes and Eddie Cibrian had a show. It is so bad, but it's not so bad it's good. It's just like they're literally sitting in a car talking. Like it's really, really bad, but I love stuff like this. I'm going to get into this.
Aren't you dying to have Leanne and Brandy back? Wouldn't you love to have them together on Beverly Hills?
Yes.
It would be the best.
Please tweet Andy Cohen, please.
Yeah.
That's a great call. We need Leanne.
And they're friends now.
They are?
They won't
Well,
be friends for so
yeah.
long if we get them on this
We
show.
get them on.
Yeah.
Do you watch like, do you watch like
Yes,
Teen
I do. I
Mom and
watch
stuff
all
like
of
that? Do you watch a lot of MTV stuff like The Challenge?
Yeah, I like The Challenge. I like
love it.
Teen Mom 1. I don't like Part 2. I watched the original
You
one.
like OG?
Yeah, OG.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I just saw one of the Teen Moms was just on Naked and Afraid a
Which
little while
one?
ago. Macy.
Right.
So she didn't last long. But anyway.
Macy and
I
Bentley.
digress.
Bentley.
Bentley. Yeah.
Bentley.
Bentley's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, let's get into, well, first we actually have some news, just some important breaking news, which is that my beloved, I feel like I'm the only fucking person that likes Kenya Moore. She's been fired from the show.
I'm devastated. I like her a lot.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I don't want her to go. I think she makes good TV.
So do I.
Yeah. The problem last season, I think, was that Kenya was sort of in and out, and she took like 3 episodes off. But when she was there, she was good. It was just, she took a lot of time off.
I know. And I called for her return
Right.
many times. It's like, where was she going? That was like in New York. Ramona doesn't appear till minute 28.
Shocking.
And thank you. Okay. Also, I want to say that there is some Ryan Culberson, is that his last name?
Yeah.
And Vicky Gumbelson, more Instagram drama going on between them, which I have been following with such bated breath. There was a fight between them before and someone blocked each other. I don't know what's gone on there, but they now hate each other. Okay. So Ryan posts a picture of him, Brianna, and Don. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, this is Don raised Brianna, not her real father,
Right.
but her father.
Right.
First person to fill up her love tank, right?
Exactly.
Fill up Vicky's love tank.
Vicky's
Yeah.
love tank.
I mean, let's hope not Brienne's.
Well, she
or
might have
Brianna.
filled Brianna. You're right, Brianna. She might have filled Brianna's. Okay.
Brianna. No, Brianne.
Okay, Ryan Culberson writes, Happy 4th of July from my family to yours. We're about to start the festivities, and it's going to be American flag, 2 pow emojis, American flag. Okay,
Wow.
then this little prick gets 263 comments after that. I don't get that many. And then Vicky Gunvalson writes, Interesting how you always post photos of Dawn there, but never me. Enjoy your visit! Exclamation
Oh my
point.
God.
So good. So then we have...
Casey, you're scared of Ryan, right?
I think that there's going to be a murder suey.
I'm terrified of him too.
Yeah, it's going to be a Dirty John
Yeah.
situation.
I think the whole OC, there could be a few of those. I mean, with all the sons. I mean, all the
Oh,
sons
all
and
the
the son-in-laws.
Oh,
they
all the
are
sons.
scary. Yeah.
And some ex-husbands. Like,
And some of the girls.
yeah.
Some of the girls.
Yeah, no tagging, but I feel like this custody, this thing going on with Tamara and, you know who? What's his name? The ex-husband.
Simon?
Simon,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't
Do you remember
know.
what were the cuff Lynn's girls?
Lynn's daughters.
Then those
Oh,
girls.
that
too.
they were sketchy.
You know, Lynn's still making the cuffs. Danielle and I wore them on Watch What Happens Live.
Were they
And
nice?
They're expensive.
Yeah.
It was $65 a cuff.
Quality though. Were they quality?
So sorry. I have to just read what Ryan posted back to Vicky. Please stop drunk posting drama on my page. This is a positive post, not supposed to be anything negative towards you. And then, okay, Vicky went, okay. Now Vicky says, no jealousy here. Great. Okay. But try to decipher this next one. She goes, no jealousy here. Great dad, question mark.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. But now, Danny, you're saying that you've heard from sources that they got nothing this OC.
Yeah, I mean, I heard from a source. I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard that there's not a whole lot of drama. And I think Kelly Dodd even said in an interview, like, it's going to be a really funny season. And it's like, I don't want a funny season from you guys. Like, I'll determine if it's funny. Like,
Thank you.
I don't need you to come out and tell me that it's going to be a funny season. So I'm hopeful that it'll shape up. I mean, they got rid of the people they needed to get rid of, but I don't know.
They needed to get rid of everyone but Vicky.
Yeah, and the funny comes from the editing usually.
Right,
Like
right.
catching them all being kind of devastating or tragic in their own way.
Exactly. I don't think anyone's going to be like making me ha.
Right. I mean, and when they try, it's when it's
Fails.
annoying.
Speaking of making me hot, I just have to say, so many people tweeted me their nominations for fans, and it was amazing. People would be like, "You've got to put my friend on. She kind of makes me laugh." And then someone was
okay.
like, "My friend's mostly funny. She said a few funny things. Like they were selling out their own friends. Like they couldn't give them the full stamp of approval." I loved it so much. Okay, let's get into New York.
Yeah. Do I smell like mothballs before we start?
Do I smell like mothballs? And also, I grew up having red, ruddy hands. Two Sonia quotes while speed dating.
Wow. I can't wait to get to that.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
I mean, we can just start
Just
with
go right
it.
for the speed dating?
Yes.
I mean, for me, by the end, it was almost too hard for me to look at. It was too sad. I mean,
Yeah.
I usually don't find them that sad. I find a lot of joy in watching them, but that took a dive for me.
Really? It lifted me up.
Right. Boost of serotonin like I've never known before. I was so happy.
Me too.
So happy.
Well, Danny, we were saying we could have watched 100 hours of it.
Yeah.
More and more. And the fact that Bethany took part earnestly, I thought was really fun.
I did like
right.
that. I think it was more when Ramona brought the drink over, and then Bethany mocked her, in her confessional or whatever, and that was maybe just
And that was
sad.
that was a time where Bethany was trying to be funny.
It was.
She was trying to do a joke. Yeah.
She did it about 5 times today.
Yeah, and I love her. It's so painful, her flirting style, which is like, I'm going to fucking neg you. Like, what, you want me to come
Yeah.
suck your dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guys are like, ooh.
Yeah. it's-
He's like, I just want to sit by you.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's like, my red scarf, and I just want to come over.
Yeah.
that red scarf, Ramona said it was like, I'm glad he wore it because it helped me pick him out.
Yeah, help me remember him. It's a good piece of flair.
Yeah.
A good piece of flair.
Yeah.
Like
Somebody
he
said
works at TGI Fridays or something.
somebody
Yeah.
somebody
He
in the
was
room
cute.
said he looked like someone from Smash. Was it? Yeah, somebody said.
That's our other guest who's just miming, much like the mime in Potomac, which we will talk about later, the finest piece of comedy I've ever seen. We opened the episode with Lou in a strange vest,
Oh,
rehearsing for her cabaret.
I mean, It looked like it was the blind leading the blind. Like there's no way that was going to turn into a good show.
Yeah.
What was happening there?
And I love the director so on the nose. He had like a director's scarf flung around
So many
him.
scarves in this episode.
So many scarves, so many fur vests, so many gloves, fingerless gloves.
Yeah.
And I feel so devastated for Billy Stritch, whomever he may be.
Yeah, I was going to say, is he famous or something?
Liza Minnelli's pianist.
Isn't it
He
Elaine
looked-
Stritch's son? Am I making that up? I thought it was
that's
Elaine.
what I thought of when I saw it, but I'm not versed in that area.
Guys, what?
I think it might be.
I love this because what I felt was so horrified. He was so horrified. It was so hard to watch.
And they just were singing over and over, "Money can't buy you class."
She referred to it
sounded
as
about
money.
as good as that, yeah.
Money.
yeah.
But Lou kept looking at the words during the chorus.
Yeah.
The same sentence.
Just talking them through the rehearsal. Just talking. Much like Kim's song, just talking through the lyrics.
And then to cut ahead to Carol, and when she was talking and she busted out another pair of gloves. I mean, it was, and I think that if she saw that shot, she's not happy with it because it did show her little old grandma hands
Carol.
before.
So harsh, Blair.
I know.
Because you pointed it out. You were like, oh, she's wearing these to cover her hands. And then I did notice like they were on every episode.
Yeah.
I didn't notice
mean,
Carol's
everything.
hand. Carol's hands are, what are?
Well, I think that a lot of times, like as you get older, I mean, that's the one thing you can't keep young.
It's coming for us all.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna. I mean, I probably have it. I mean, that'd be
have
weird if
beautiful
I had
hands.
it. Thank
You
you.
have beautiful hands.
Thank
Yeah.
you. But I mean, that's the one thing that you got to cover up,
Yeah.
that you can't change. I mean, I guess you could, but I don't think you do a lot.
Now, Danny, you said you possibly remain the only person Team Carol.
Yes, I know. I know we're in the midst of her last summer, her last good summer.
Yeah.
And I like Carol, you guys. And I have a good reason for it. And I mentioned it. I think that she's the only one that asks these women about them. You know, like she's the only one talking to Luann and asking Luann questions. And it's moving the story along and it's giving Luann an opportunity to talk about herself. If we don't have Carol, it's just going to be Luann and Ramona like staring at each other, talking about themselves, like they're not interacting.
I feel like it's like in a sitcom where they have scenes that aren't the funny scenes, are called go-tos, where it's just like we need to just move the plot along. And
Yeah.
You're right. She is good for that.
And she's sort of a good bridge between all the girls now because she's sort of friends with everyone. She's not, you know, we need someone that's kind of neutral. And a lot of times on the other housewives, they'll have someone that's neutral, that's really obnoxious or annoying. And I don't think, even if you dislike Carol, I don't think she's like annoying or like so you can't watch her, right? Like do you like her, Carol?
I used to love Carol, but like I said, I feel like she started out as like just kind of witnessing this cult on the outside, and then suddenly
Right.
is now like a full-fledged member.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's totally switched over. Yeah.
There's something I don't like her. I mean, she's also. Do you read her blog on the Bravo website?
Yeah, it's
when
bookmarked.
what'd you say?
It said bookmarked. Yeah. Google, I got a Google alert for that.
She really put that fight into perspective, the one with Bethany, I felt. And I thought that she was almost like too smart and too articulate and like just really nailed it on the head. And I don't want it to be that real or that
okay.
well set. Like I like it when everybody's just a little bit more disillusioned. I mean, she isn't aware of also how she's coming across,
I
but
like it when people are a little more disillusioned.
She's too stable for you.
yeah, she seems, I mean, she is, but she's also like totally
Like the craziest
wacky.
thing about her is her like having no railing on her stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's got that younger boyfriend and she wears those, headphones around her neck all the
She
time.
names
But
all those fucking pets baby.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't name them all the same thing.
Why do they
Yeah.
all have these little dogs?
I was thinking that too.
It's like every time a housewife opens the door, it's like, baby, Jimmy,
Baby.
50 Cent, or whatever the fuck Bethany named her.
Aston is Luann's, I think, right? Aston's is Luann.
Aston.
Remember Aston? Yeah. She got him in like the second season.
Biggie
Smalls,
Biggie Smalls. Dorinda.
Church going Dorinda. Mother Dorinda.
Mother Dorinda.
and just how little she looked walking next to Lou in the close up where it was the two of them and you just saw her little head looking up.
Yeah.
I said there were so many scenes of just two of them walking, like two different characters, two different women walking, that it reminded me of like Annie Hall. And there was like long shots in like Manhattan.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Woody Allen. But it was so weird. Like it was just, they were like, listen, we're just going to pair you guys up and just watch you talk and walk.
Yeah.
Or you're walking to church. You're walking to,
Yeah, whose
you're walking
idea?
out of AA.
It was always leaving AA, like what she's going to do after her AA meetings, like getting coffee with Carol. Like, who chose the church, do you think? Think Dorinda did, or do you think
The producer?
producers
I don't know, but I want to see that production meeting between the church and the producers, like getting clearance for that church.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
And we're going to want all 50 of these candles lit, if we could do that, and get the ones over here lit.
I love that Dorinda, she's such a fucking liar. She's like, there's the candle I lit when you were in rehab. It's like, Dorinda, don't.
Someone was watching today and they were like, that's my candle.
Yeah.
It's my grandma. Also, like they said a prayer and like after the prayer, Dorinda said amen and Luann just said, thank you.
I love it. And I love Luann says to Carol with a straight face. She's like, today I'm not drinking, but tomorrow I don't plan on drinking.
Maybe not. I don't know.
And they're like, have you thrown out the alcohol? She's basically like, God, no.
Dorinda wanted it.
Dorinda walking with that boot.
Wow. What was on that boot? It looked like it was adorned with a heart or something.
I thought it was red little doggy bags for shit. But I could see Dorinda being like, what? I would just put it into my boot.
Yeah.
Whenever I see that boot, I just think like alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that.
The fact that there's like 4 boots on Bravo right now, because we've got
Shep.
Naomi's in one,
yeah.
Shep.
Shep, the whole Southern Charm cast
Yeah,
is
it's
in
all
some sort
beat
of
up.
cast.
Whole Southern Charm cast is literally like fall down drunks and like their bones are broken.
Vanderpump Rules kids are just swinging along. They're
Yeah.
fine.
There was one on Summer House. One of the sisters had a boot on. I mean, it's
God.
like, it's crazy.
Do you remember the most iconic boot was Brandy Glanville and they hid her crutches? I mean, oh my God, that was a scene.
The
Yeah.
scene where they hit her crutches. So I really love Kyle, but it's kind of like when something happens in your past, you're like, I forgive you, but I don't forget.
Right.
I never forget that crutches
No, it
scene
was
and
shocking.
how nasty and mean girls that was of her and Kim.
That's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff where I just can't wrap my brain around that.
See, that's Big Kathy. That's Little Kathy. That's some old shit for them.
Think about all those moments. We got the slut pig that day. We got Dana Pam. If we didn't know her name.
As you know, Dana is my favorite character
Yeah.
that's ever come on the Housewives. When she comes back with those huge sunglasses and they sit in the furniture store, and then what happens? She asked someone to light a candle for her.
Yeah, she met with Taylor and they like lit something. They lit she lit a cigarette on the candle at the table. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, God, Danny, I love it when she lit her cigarette off the candle.
Don't you
Where is
think
Dana?
We need to check in with her for like one scene. I think she's in jail right now. But
Yeah, I heard she was imprisoned.
we need to check in with her for one scene a season. Like I don't want her on the cast, but like one scene a season.
I also liked when we checked in with Taylor.
Yeah.
That felt, it's so very dark.
Yeah, that is just. I was reading something, and maybe you guys have talked about this before. Did her husband maybe not commit suicide?
Russell?
Yes, I read. Sorry, am I going rogue right now?
Oh my God. I'm shocked.
What are you saying?
I read something that was about
He was murdered?
that they were trying to say he was maybe murdered. Yeah.
Who was trying to say this? Page 6 or Daily Mail?
I don't know. I was probably like just scrolling on my phone for hours one day, like I do. And I got deep into something once. And
We've all been there.
yeah. And I swear I read something where they were
Well, I
trying to
know he
figure
had a
out.
huge falling out with his business partner.
Yes. And then there was some other person that had died too that like believed in the same thing he believed in or I have nothing.
God.
I literally have nothing, but there has been speculation or a conspiracy theory
Probably true
behind
then.
him.
Probably
Wow.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Thank
that's,
you, Blair, for that.
Wow.
To lighten it up a little, let's go back to speed dating when Ramona goes, "What's your name? Amal? Amal? What nationality are you, Amal?" And he just says simply, American.
See, I felt like every man at that speed dating needed a haircut. Like
Yeah.
all of the men, their hair was just like a little too shaggy. Like Brian in the scarf. You thought he was handsome. I thought he needs a haircut. Like that's all I could see was.
Casey, you like Dwayne, I think, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, Dwayne. Yeah.
Guys, we haven't discussed what that man whispered in Ramona's ear.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It was like so shocking we couldn't even say it.
Something he said at first, I've got a cat of 9 tails or something like
What
that.
does that
What does that
mean?
mean? I don't know.
I don't know.
got-
I think it's like a whip with a bunch of little tails on it.
Oh, I got a cat with 9 tails. You'd be tied up. Then he said, you'd have handprints on your fucking ass.
Mic'd. He was mic'd.
Mic'd. And he said something else disgusting.
Well, I think he said something like you wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah.
But she loved it though. She was wet.
Yeah.
I don't. I can't believe that.
And the way
can't
he
believe that
grabbed
she
her
loved
face,
it.
I was like, this is crazy
I
that
thought
it's
he was
on
gonna,
TV.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna kiss her, and then I was like, "That's a forceful kiss," but that's how they do it on Bravo a lot. And then he said that, and that. I mean, that.
I mean,
Caught me off
I
guard.
reach out to Andy Cohen very rarely. Obviously, I don't want to bother him. But I had to write an email tonight in all caps that said, you'll have handprints on your fucking ass.
Yes.
I had to, it's like sometimes you have to.
I mean, and that man, he's related to somebody. Like somebody is seeing that and thinking like, that's my brother.
Yeah,
or that's my son.
My father.
That's my uncle.
Yeah, that's my uncle.
Most likely an uncle.
My boss.
Yeah, oh, for sure. That's my boss. I work
Yeah.
with that guy.
Yeah. Oh,
I see him at Chipotle every now and then.
Yeah. I'd like to get his name.
Yeah.
And then Ramona's let her sexuality out so much over the seasons. Like at first she was like this mom. For her to go, I have high libido. What can I say?
Libido. She does.
Well, the other week she said something about how she like would do anything in bed. Didn't she say something?
Yes.
Like yeah.
She's like, I'll do whatever.
I think Ramona has game. Do you guys think she has game?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's good. She gets these guys.
Yeah, she was like sprawled out on that couch.
Yeah.
Quickly, you were bringing up, Danny, or no, you were the sad relationship between Sonia and Bethany. Marriage of convenience.
I think you guys said it was sad. I like it. I think that they need one another. I kind of like it. I think because I like both of them.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Why?
It's too much. It feels so forced to me. It feels like Sonia puts up with Bethany's like little bits. And so Bethany likes her for that. But I don't feel like it's real.
Yeah, like you don't feel like they actually like each other.
No, it seems like they're doing it for the camera. Like they're like, let's do a fun scene together. And I think somebody said they're like Lucy and Ethel, or they think they're Lucy and Ethel.
They think that.
Yeah, they are like rolling around in bed or like spanking each other's
I bet you
butts.
when the cameras go off, they literally do not talk for 6
Yeah, like
months.
Bethany books it after camera's done.
100%. 100%. Guys, really quick. The scene where Dorinda brings Lou to the dress shop. That our guest that's about to come out, and I'm sorry I've rendered him so silent. We were saying that's like if you live in Manhattan, like on 33rd Street. It's like in the Button District.
What was it, Globani's or something?
Well, it was Giovanni's, and I for a second, when she was like, "I'm very close with Giovanni," I was like, "Versace,"
and I was like, "Rabisi."
If Giovanni Ribisi
His dress shop.
made Scientology dresses. I don't know how you make those. Wow. And then quickly, just a lot of looks. Let's just discuss looks really quick.
Right. I'm still always shocked when they cut to Dorinda in that, like, what is that? It's like a brown pattern top, with the hair.
It's a paisley top.
It's a very Jersey look, right?
Yeah, and the purple lipstick, of
With
course.
the grand piano in the back?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
I'm shocked every time. I love it, too. I love it. But it's like every time I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it like doesn't fit. It's too
Whoa.
fancy, everything about it.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I love Bethany's look all red with the red earrings. The hair is soft.
Yeah.
I like when she softens her hair.
Yeah.
It kind of softens her soul.
I don't like Carol with that little haircut.
Yeah, you guys don't like Carol's haircut.
You said it every single time she came on like it was a new thought. You were like, I don't like that haircut.
That fucking haircut.
It's like the color of her skin, and it's short. And now I know you got bangs this year, and I like that.
Thank you.
On you. I don't know what Carol's doing with those bangs. It's like she's got to commit to more or grow them out or shorter.
More or less something else.
Yeah, I don't know anything about hair, but...
Well, I liked when she has that blonde kind of beachy wave, that little like bend in it, but then to go to that short bob.
Why did she go short?
It's so misguided.
It's, more age appropriate to have short hair, I guess.
But, why is she worried about that? It's her she still has one summer left.
Yeah.
Why is she worried about
Well, we
it?
are in July.
We're in July now. Yeah.
Now, I wonder if that summer extends to Labor Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a couple months.
When we retire White, we also retire Carol.
Should be a memorial for her. Carol.
R.I.P.
What about Tinsley
Oh, thank you.
moving?
Her penthouse.
Yeah, she doesn't have she owns nothing but racks of clothes.
And then when they showed that rack of stuffed with coats, I was like, thin out that rack. Just like a lot of Patagonia, like puffy coats.
Now, it said that it was $30,000 a month for their new penthouse. Do you believe that?
No.
No.
I think she's featured it so heavily. I feel like they're like, you can rent it for free for like a month until someone else needs it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they ever say... They said the name of the hotel that one time when...
When the Nivea cream was brought out.
Yeah, when Sonia stayed there and she got the new bag.
Yeah. Okay, wait.
The PJs.
You said something so funny, Danny. You said you want, and I agree, Dale to be a full-time cast member.
100%. I feel like she fits in better age-wise with like Ramona and Luann than Tinsley does. Like I think she would be great, and I love Dale. And I don't want to get rid of Tinsley either. I like Tinsley, but I would love to see just Dale like pop in and out. And you said that you want to see Dale do an intro, right?
Yeah, I want when Dale spins around. When Dale spins around in the beginning of it, I want her to say, "I may love my daughter's embryos, but I'm no hoe," or something to that effect.
I'm gonna cry.
Something to that effect. Yeah, I would love to see that as well.
Yeah.
And poor Tinsley, when she was like, "I want to be with Scott all the time."
Oh, it's sad.
There is nothing that I want to see less than a housewife like planning a wedding or trying to get engaged. So like to me,
That's
it's like
all I want to see.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd rather see it with like all through Dale's perspective, like her point of view
wow,
of
I'd
Dale
watch
like
that.
patronizing Tinsley. Like that was more interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's why we
Where's
need
Scott?
Dale full time.
Why isn't Scott showing his face? Neither's the dry cleaner.
No, John Medecio's been gone.
Yeah. I feel like someone like shook him and like was like, "You are not
This is not
doing
good."
yourself any favors. Like, don't show your sweaty face."
I know. Well, Scott's only scene this season is like Tinsley freaking out at the door, and they keep cutting back to it. Like they've cut back to it at least 5 times.
I know.
Yeah. But I love it. It's the best scene of all time.
But we know what's coming, so it's very amazing to watch.
Are they together?
No.
Dramatic tension, yeah.
Guys, let's take a little break. That was great. Okay, we are back. Blair, you had one more thought.
Well, one of my favorite scenes from tonight was the scene of Ramona at the gym. It was her and like 3 other women that looked just like her. But a couple of them looked like they just had street clothes on, like a blue crew neck sweater, black pants.
Yes.
And then when Ramona started going for the squats with the
pillar,
row
yeah.
pole or something, that was the most sexual move I've ever seen at the gym.
And that's a hard move, by the way.
Yeah, I could never.
And not one of them using a hair tie.
I want Ramona to take over for Chloe on Revenge Body. I just want it to be Ramona's Revenge Body.
Yeah.
I'd watch it.
Well, did you guys see Ramona's lip sync?
Yes, of course. And Google alert for it.
Google alert
ready.
for
I
Ramona lip syncing. What did she do?
She did a Britney Spears.
Oops, I Did It Again.
And then was it?
It was like a rap. It was like I Like Big Butts or like something like that.
The
It
Oops,
wasn't
I Did
that.
It Again. She was wearing that same jumpsuit she wore to the Halloween party. The exact same one. She worn it like 3 or 4
Why'd
times.
you have to say that?
There's, somebody on the internet, you can look. She's worn it at least like 4 times at different dates. I saw it online. This is a fact.
So, I mean, that means she thinks she looks good in it.
She likes it.
She does. She does look good. I mean, all of those women are gorgeous.
Yeah, she looks great.
Big question. Does Ramona still work? Remember we used to always be following her into the office with her trinket shop?
Right.
Well, she does have the skincare line that she's coming out with.
I think
That even that dermatologist was basically like, this isn't good
she
product.
said serum was the most important part of the regimen, the daily, which I thought I have gotten a new serum because of that. But it also was the moment.
like a
So it seems like Ramona's it's working.
It's working
But
for me.
Whatever the fuck Sonia's using, I want
Yeah.
on my skin.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Sonia's gorgeous. But I mean, Ramona also gave me one of those moments where I was like, is everything a scam? Like if Ramona, who has no background in skincare, is telling me what the most important thing to put on my face is and I'm believing her, like that's when I was also like, everything is.
I don't think anyone else is believing her, but
I was most offended that Ramona's not using Dr. Sharon Geezy, who she saw for like 10 seasons. Okay, you guys remember Sharon Geezy, right? Like,
of course.
She saw Ramona and Sharon Geezy got together every season, at least once a season. And now all of a sudden she's using another doctor. And I'm like, I'm offended for Sharon Geezy.
Well, I'm sure Sharon was like, fuck no, I'm not partnering with you.
Yeah.
Guys, we're gonna bring out a guest who is also another fan write-in, I guess is the only way to put it. You were recommended. Then I went through your Twitter. You have some insight on the behind the scenes, which I thought is amazing, and it's specifically New York. Please welcome Zachary Sergi.
Like musical
Hi,
chairs
Zach.
with Max. Hi, I feel like the Pam of this episode. I'm like, we're like Faye Resnick or Marlo. I'm like waiting for my like official nook item while I'm in the corner. So yes, now that I have an official spot in the Nook for a little while, I was lucky enough for a project that I was writing about reimagining the Real Housewives as modern Greek mythology goddesses. Because, if you think about it, reality TV is like our modern myth, right? They're these half fake, half real figures that we look up to, but also, yeah, exactly. They, they have these foibles and they're cautionary tales, right? So anyway, I got to meet with the executive producer of Real Housewives of New York and ask whatever questions I wanted to.
Wow.
It was like going to Mecca. It was like making a pilgrimage. I felt like I'd landed somewhere very special.
How did you land that?
Friend of a friend, that
Sexual
Hollywood was like, I wasn't going to say that, but yeah.
Okay, very cool.
I had my cat whip out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you say I'll leave your ass with handprints?
Yeah. He wasn't walking afterwards, but
Oh, wow.
I am someone's husband. I am someone's. So I think the first and most important tidbit is that I don't know. Did everyone know that the testimonials are filmed in the production offices? So
Yes,
I
I
knew that.
assumed.
What?
Did you know that most of them are written too? I have a friend who's written some for other shows.
Why can't I get hired for that? Talk about ghostwriter.
I don't even
I'm
think my
trying.
friend got paid to do it.
No.
I think a lot of them do hire or like ask friends or ask, people that they know on like social
Carol
media people.
cannot pull it off. She's always like, well, he's got a dick the size of like it's very rehearsed, but
Yeah.
she seems tentative.
Yeah.
Okay, the only other thing I want to say is that cannot be right because it seems like they're in their own homes.
So they sit in front of a green screen and they have current photographs of their homes that they sit in front of.
Wow.
Which I know
Wow,
is
so
tough
that
to hear.
piano,
So in
that
New
Dorinda
York,
shot.
it's really her piano. It's just a green screen
Sure,
replica
sure.
of her piano.
And
Yeah.
didn't originally they did film in their houses, right? Like the first few seasons, I
I
think.
believe
Yeah.
so, but now at least in New York, and I've heard that franchise to franchise it varies.
Right.
But in
Wow.
New York, they have to come in once a week while they're filming. They have to wear the same outfit for the most part, so they can have a rotation of a few, but they have to keep the same outfits on. They do get their makeup done for the testimonials,
And it's paid?
Okay. This is making a lot of sense to me because sometimes I've been like, are they that good of an actress to be going back in their mind emotionally to something that happened, even if they've later made up?
Right.
I'm like, that it always seems very fresh. And then I'm like, but wait, they seem good 2 weeks later because I thought it was all filmed after the fact. I like to know that it's being
film. So
woven,
it's
you like-
being
yeah,
filmed
during filming.
Well,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
during the process. Okay,
being
that makes more
filmed
sense.
as we go and after. I thought it was all after.
Okay.
they do call them back in if they need some additional ones, but yeah, they're called in once a week to do, and they sit with an executive producer and the producer and are asked questions.
So then are they editing that quickly too?
I think so. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and there's a little
that's
kind
gotta
of
be a
like
job
tiny
somehow.
makeup room where I guess they get their makeup.
I'm like, that
done.
sounds like a dream job.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like that. Just a lot of work,
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
to
yeah.
churn through.
Yeah.
Yes. So that brings me to my next point is that the producers really feel like they have to have good relationships with the women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like a competition show where you have to like create drama between eliminations or where they're disposable. These are women that are coming back, most of them every season. So they feel like they have to have good relationships. So the executive producer said he thinks of his job like air traffic control. So he's there to coordinate, but whenever he has conversations with the women, they are completely confidential.
Oh.
Because he trusts that they will bring it to the show.
Yeah.
And what he says to them apparently is that I won't sandbag you as the producer. The other women might, but I won't.
Yeah.
You won't ever be surprised by what we do. The other women might surprise you.
They have to play a lot of mental games, those producers. Like, you have to be a smart person to be able to get stuff out of these.
Because they have to build trust with,
Yeah.
with
And
the women.
I think once it's built, though, these ladies,
Say
now
anything.
they're just open because they'll do anything. And you can see them becoming more and more, aware of what they need to do as they're on shows longer. And
One time I was at Gelson's at the Victor Benet's, the pastry portion
love
of
their donuts.
Oh, amazing. And an amazing man tapped me on the shoulder and said he was a fan and also the showrunner for Dance Moms. And
Oh my God.
he
Wow.
said also the same, that basically he would have to drag the dance mom out of bed often and, just really manage the emotions and feelings of her. And he was a lovely, lovely man.
so he
Wow.
would drag her out of bed just to make sure she was having a bad day. So she would really pop off.
Those women are tough too. Those
I
dance
think to
moms.
just get her on camera. Because remember at the end, things took a turn.
So this brings me to my favorite part that I learned, that a lot of this is actually real. So he was saying that the women, even though they fight, they feel like they're sisters, they're a family. They're kind of like, they're all in this together.
Yeah, I would have guessed that.
Yeah. They try to save their fights and their conversations for when they're on camera. So when they're filming, they actually don't see each other off camera a lot. But it's not because they don't like each other or don't want to. It's because they want to save their best material for when they are
Could you
filming.
imagine, like, especially Casey, like just having to fight with somebody so often? I mean, that would be my worst nightmare. The second I feel any tension, I'm like, oh God, what is it? Like I lose
Well,
it.
that's why I think there's so much talk of Xanax. I
Yeah.
think these women are Xanaxed, as my grandma would say, to the hilt.
Yeah. And so the other thing that's specific to New York is that because of Page Six and kind of the gossip culture, it's a self-perpetuating drama vehicle because they are always talking to the press or in blogs. So the fights that they have end up being real because they're on the show. Even though they can't talk about the fact that they're on the show, Page Six specifically like fuels a lot of the drama between them, which we get to see pretty often.
More than any other franchise, too, the New York Girls are all about the press and the gossip rags.
yeah.
I mean, from the beginning, from season 1,
Yeah. I wonder if the producers are feeding some stuff to Page Six.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. And my favorite thing that he said is that the women specifically in New York, this is who they truly are on and off camera. They've tried to focus on casting women that are already larger than life.
Yeah.
Larger than life is the
it
code.
was-
Well, it's
was
just
the
it's such
phrase.
a perfect cast. I mean, it's dynamite.
Yeah, it's
Like,
perfection.
Also something specific about them all being older and single. Like Beverly Hills, they all are kind of younger and in relationships. And the dating is the speed dating.
It's
I want to
so-
see them date, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see them party and I want to see them date, and I either want them to be like just at an age where that feels a little like not normal.
Yeah,
like it's
past the
not what
prime.
we're used to seeing. Like I don't need to see a 29-year-old with a fiance. I don't give a shit. I want to see a 60-year-old with a couple boyfriends getting blacked out. What?
You want to see it be devastating.
I know.
I would like cameras at the Regency, like the security camera footage. I'd pay like a monthly Big Brother type fee for that footage and just mic up the bar.
What if we
Yeah.
just put a Nest camera in there and like
Right.
a plant?
Right.
And then we could just check in at all times.
I would give my credit card. I don't know what the monthly fee would have to be for that, but I'd watch it when I'm bored or something. I'd just put it on.
Okay, so on the Nest, because my son has it, you can talk to them, through like this little microphone. And my dad had logged in on his phone, so like we'll be in my room and he'll just be like, Max, go to sleep. And it's fucking terrifying. And my son's like, is that Papa? So it's absolutely terrifying. But I'd like that for the Regency. And when Tom comes in, I go, Tommy. Don't be a bad boy.
I personally, and we talked about this earlier, I want to see a spinoff of Dale and Patricia Altschul from
Oh,
Southern
yes.
Charm. I think
Please
that
give
would
it.
be amazing. I also think there's a Dale tagline of something like, I only eat my eggs hard boiled.
Something with eggs.
I love it. Well, do you have any final thoughts that you want to share?
I do. Are we pivoting to Southern Charm next? So the one thing I want to say, I also heard from a source, is that so the reason that Naomi exploded so violently at the Peyton, was that her name? Was that Naomi played the long con to be on the show. So she only stayed with Craig for 3 years so that she
Wow.
was a series regular, and then
Okay.
Wow.
broke up with him.
She let him live in
Goosebumps.
her house.
Yes,
Wow.
just to get on the show.
She played the long con with her first nose
Wait,
too.
wait. So did the producer tell you? He told you that?
This was like a friend of a friend thing. So this is through the grapevine, but it also makes, it's also like, how you like get so angry at others and what you see in yourself. It's
Right.
like, that's why she exploded at Peyton, because that's her spot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I also I don't think I could ever fully believe that. Like I think that could be something that I would be like, do you think Naomi's doing this just so she could get on the show? But there's no way Naomi would be like, I'm doing this just to get on the show.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But Catherine slept with everyone and had 2 kids just to get on
on
the
the
show.
show.
On some level, they're all doing something to whore themselves out for the show. I mean, they're all doing things that a lot of people wouldn't do to get a spot on the program.
But guys, what I do think is real is when Shep went on Watch What Happens Live and explosively reported back to the audience that he has been hooking up with Catherine 7 or 8 times.
Wow.
And that he says he's like kind of ready to settle down and she like intrigues him. And I actually think that's a really good match.
Yeah, I mean, when they were eating those corn dogs, you know, when the bird flew by and ate Shep's corn dog.
Right. I want someone better for Catherine, though. Like, I think Catherine is just such a sweet girl. And I feel like Shep's not ready to settle down. I feel like he wouldn't really settle down with her. And she needs someone really stable. I mean, with those kids and everything, I feel like she needs someone super stable, super kind, super gentle, super nice. And Shep is some of those things, but I don't think he's ready to settle down.
I think he needs to. Like, he needs to. Like, he's like...
Your eyes are going, you're like, oh,
yeah, I mean, just like he's almost like tipping over the edge for me. Like...
Well, his gut is tipping over the edge.
his butt crack was out, too. Did you see
now,
that?
Look, again, I celebrate my own curves, and I know I've got a little extra. So, again, I'm probably projecting. But I feel like we're all, like, crowded around Shep, or Shepherd, as his mother calls him, which makes me so sick. And we're touting him and holding him up like the baby in the Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
feel that way. Like, I actually don't understand people that love Shep, and everybody's, like, loving him. I mean,
Craig is gorgeous.
No, I love Craig.
Craig is gorgeous.
I have such a crush on Craig.
But they're both losers. And Shep is...
How dare you? I love Craig.
But it also makes me so angry when they keep calling out Austin and Craig about having no job. And I'm like, they're on this show. That's their job.
That always
Their
bugs me
job.
because it's like, this is their job. On every program, why do I keep saying program?
But is it their job, or is it like when I was on SNL and I still had to get a summer job because it was paid so low?
Ugh.
Genuinely wondering.
No, I know. Well, yeah.
What was your summer job?
It's that then.
Acting.
I was going to say.
Being in movies.
So it's not
Justice for Bride Wars.
Quite frankly.
But like Shep, too, I mean, he's like a predator. Can I say that? Is that too harsh? I mean, he is like that.
It's not harsh enough.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
I
so
don't-
everyone's like, he's a nice guy. And I'm like, he's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't like Shep at all. And then he did the spinoff with the dating show, and it's like, what are we're all competing to date Shep?
You know what? I didn't watch one episode.
Me either.
I watched the whole
And I'll watch
thing.
anything. I'll watch anything.
You watched the whole thing?
Wait, wasn't one of these new girls on that?
Peyton.
Peyton was on. Oh yeah, Peyton
it.
was on it.
She-
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean,
I blacked out for a
lost
second.
it. Like she was fucking nuts.
Really?
Like she seemed normal, cool. I mean,
So
relatively.
they brought her on thinking that she'd be good for Southern Charm.
no, I don't know. Or maybe like they were just kind of like she was crazy. Like let's
Or
let's
I
keep
think
milking her.
like I feel like in Charleston there's everyone kind of knows each other, and I think they're running through like the good-looking single people in Charleston.
so they're bringing them in from LA.
I want to say something about Cameron. I feel like Blair, exactly what you're saying about like the age range and where you want them to be in life. Cameron needs to fade away into the
Got to
distance.
go. I mean, her thing.
And
even,
why aren't they playing the theme song?
Ba-ba-doo.
It just all it says is like it's one line after Cameron's monologue.
Oh, and I can't handle
Yeah.
Cameron. Like, I mean, I loved her when she was on Real World San Diego.
Right.
Like, but ever since they brought her
and
back,
I love her as a person.
Oh, I don't.
She seems sweet to
Is
me.
that
I like
controversial?
Well,
I just-
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
her
yeah.
thing is just to be like, yeah, I'm eating chicken tenders and I'm burping in
I'm
your
a
face.
girl's
and,
guy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a girl's guy. I can't cook, and then it's like, but she's good at cooking and she's cute, and there's no way, and like I'm burping, and it's like,
There's no way in hell she's eating all that stuff.
No.
I really think when the camera pans off, she like dumps
Spits
that
it
chicken
out.
on the
yeah, she's
floor.
like, keep this away from
Got
me.
a spit bucket.
Yeah,
100%.
This past new episode, you know, they were doing like the narration. They were like last week on Southern Charm, and then they were like talking about Catherine's depression, and then it was like the song came on, but it was like they're doing like the remix version, and she's like, Catherine's like, I just got off my meds, and they're like, Catherine's off her meds, or like it was like something. It was just like so it didn't fit with like the what was going on. And
Well,
they
there
were
was something before it too that I think
Thomas
was
is a
something like-
rapist.
yeah.
Catherine's depressed. Ba-ba-doo. It's just like-
Yeah, and I think the lead-in was something like so and so. Laughter is the best medicine, but medicine is
Yeah.
what Catherine has not been taking.
I know, like the transitions are just not working. Like, and we just want the theme song back, like the old theme song. Just play it back. We don't need you to like do an song improv or.
Going back to Shep, I feel, and Thomas too, and the deep cut of the patriarchy down there. It's like, because I'm from New York, so I haven't seen that kind of like, these men don't even know enough to like hide their misogyny. It's just like they're not even smart enough to like pretend not to hate
But
women.
that's why I like Craig. I don't think he's. But I'm worried about him. I'm worried he's going to switch over.
Well, to your point, Zach, though, I think that Thomas hates Ashley so much he pushed through his own misogyny and demanded she get a job.
Also, Freudian slip on her part. She said, I had a job. I hustled. I was like, did you hustle, Ashley?
Ugh, Ashley. Ugh. I can't with Ashley. Oh my
I
God.
just
Flirting with all the guys.
No, asking
Yeah,
every
asking
cast
them.
member, would you date me?
And then that nervous laugh, she was like,
Yeah.
do you guys look at her Instagram?
I can't.
of course.
So it looks like, well, I mean, it looks like she and Thomas haven't been hanging out the last couple of weeks, but Thomas and Catherine have been.
Wait, so is Catherine with Shep or Thomas?
Well, I think that I don't
Well,
think
yeah,
she's hooking up with Thomas, but I think that exists. And
I
to
feel
me-
badly for Catherine and the kids that Thomas is like might go to jail where he belongs.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, of course, but I do feel bad for the kids and Catherine.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
think about if Catherine is with Shep. I mean, and Thomas is in jail and it's just Catherine, the two kids, and Shep. Like, that's not a situation we need. We do not want. We might want to watch it, but we don't want to. It's not good
And
for
do
her.
Catherine's parents have money? It seems that she's not living in the standard she had become accustomed to.
I think when they said that her name was like some sort of Charleston royalty, but like so many branches off of that.
I mean, they're not giving her any of that money because the last season or a couple seasons ago, she got that apartment that was like, not that great.
Yeah.
Guys-
Can I ask one thing?
Yeah.
Oh, so you know when they showed Patricia and then Thomas came over and he was like, "I'll have a Hamptons Gatorade."
Gatorade.
Yeah, I'll have Hamptons Gatorade, and then whatever that
I'll have
poor
that Hamptons Powerade
the
Zero.
poor-
That poor fake
servant.
fake butler.
Yeah, he came in and he brought out 2 glasses, and it was supposed to be rosé, but it looked like urine.
Wow.
And I'm like, he's serving him.
He peed
His
in a
piss.
glass. Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
Probably happened.
He should be, and they drink it up like the dumb idiots they are.
Guys, question.
Like they deserve.
And I don't know if we should go here or we can go here, but
Let's do it.
what's doing with Danny?
Danny is tough to me because I feel like she's just on the cusp of being a cast member for 4 or 5 seasons now. When we're not giving her any storylines, she's just sort of there. And
She's
it's
not
like, that's sad.
dating.
That's
She's
more
not
sad to
getting
me
wasted.
than anything.
Yeah.
And I think she was with someone.
She's not eating.
Is she? I didn't even know. Is she?
I mean, I have a full page of notes. I don't think I have Danny's
Cameron's
name down.
eating
Does she have a
us.
job? What is? I don't have a
Yeah,
read
she
on-
does well, and I think she was in also in the alcohol industry, like working in. I just remember
That's
when
right.
Craig was working with JW or whatever that
Oh my God.
fucking idiot's name
I
is.
fucking hate him. Excuse me. JD is the
Is
worst.
Elizabeth
you know.
okay? Like she looks so like
None of them are
emergency,
okay.
Elizabeth,
emergency.
get away.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
away.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
But I remember there was like a connection there. Like they wanted her to taste the They wanted her to taste the whiskeys and stuff like that because she's in the industry.
I'm glad Craig is just doing the pillows now. Get out of that JD shit.
That
Do the
was so
pillows.
wild when he was like, well, Patricia won't give me my shot. Like, she wouldn't give me one more day after like 7 months.
And he
he
said-
could create this one pillow, which he really just ripped off from the woman in that fabric shop.
The fucking foxes
Clip art.
and cactus behind them or whatever,
And he's
palm
like,
trees.
and he goes,
art.
deadlines are arbitrary.
Yeah.
I mean, are they?
Craig also doesn't have railings in his house. Did you notice? He just like pasted something on.
Or walls.
Yeah, it's like that whole place is weird.
Is he still seeing his life coach?
I hope so.
That was.
You guys, I love Craig. I don't want to talk badly about him because I love him so much. He looks like Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire.
Oh, he's so
Like,
hot.
They got that haircut.
He's
I know.
so gorgeous.
Beautiful.
And when Shep made fun of him when they got to the polo match, and Shep was like, "Why don't you have an undershirt
I'm
on?"
like, "Fuck
or
you,
something."
Shep.
I was like,
Excuse
"Shep,
me."
you have on like plastic sunglasses that you like found under a seat in a car or something,
I
with
know,
like
making-
purple on the sides and
How dare Shep act like he's got better style than Craig?
than
I know.
anybody."
Anyone,
Shep's a
yeah.
wreck.
Shep is so jealous
They're
of Craig.
so mean to
He
Craig.
knows that Craig is so much better looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Chelsea and Austin are in love?
Chelsea. Chelsea.
Oh,
Can I say that?
What?
I'm worried. I don't want to call someone out. I feel I'll get.
okay. Then don't.
Is it bad?
Chelsea.
I don't know if it's bad.
I'm
Maybe.
just gonna keep saying
I
it.
don't know.
I think Chelsea is a lesbian.
Wow. Wow. What? Okay. So
Is that bad to say?
No, I think that
You're
I
living
could
your truth.
See it.
No, yeah,
and-
that thought had never crossed my mind, and now it's like a light bulb has gone off.
It's
and
answering a lot of
I've
questions
seen the truth.
for me.
also, I mean, the whole time this
Sorry, it
Austin.
hadn't crossed your mind.
It hadn't even crossed mine.
It crossed
No.
mine.
But
I'll
I
be
think-
honest. It crossed
Had it?
mine. Yeah,
Okay.
it crossed
Okay.
mine. I'm a big gay, and it crossed it right
So
away.
do you think that's what Danny and Chelsea? Is that maybe what's
No,
happening?
no. I think Danny just can't land a man. I don't
Poor
know.
Danny, you guys,
Chelsea,
Poor Danny.
and Chelsea.
I mean, Austin is
Not wearing a stitch of makeup.
Oh, yes. I was watching maybe with my sister, and she said that too. She's like, she doesn't give a fuck.
Danny was so happy they were filming in her bedroom that one scene. There was like Catherine-
She also had Tinsley racks.
Right.
Like, her clothes were all on
right?
racks.
You know, she was just thrilled to get the cameras at her house.
Yeah.
She's like, Catherine, come sleep over.
Well, they're
Please.
best friends. I saw on Instagram that they're both like, this is my best friend. forever.
That's cute.
I love that the girls are pairing. Like even
I do
from the
too.
beginning of the season, it was like all the girls against guys, and it's like I love the girls supporting each other.
I do love that there's a girl gang. Like,
Right, it's the
I
best.
do too. And by the way, I love Chelsea.
Yeah,
yeah, I love Chelsea. And
She's
Austin
growing
does
on me.
too. Austin is in love with Chelsea.
I disagree.
I don't think so either. I
I don't think he's
it's
attracted to her because of my aforementioned comment.
fake.
You don't think that lesbians can be attractive?
No. No, of course I do. Of course I do, but I think he knows.
Yeah, like he's feeling something
inside of himself. Yes.
There was
Yeah.
like a weird Austin video. Did you see this online? Like Austin's current girlfriend, like barging in, and then, but I think some people were saying it was staged, and it's like, is Austin doing all of this stuff for? Austin's whole thing just feels fake. All of it to me.
Yeah, even his new girlfriend.
Everything about Austin feels manufactured to me.
Another thing just about all these guys is that, I mean, they're
Except
all...
for Craig.
Except for Craig.
All right,
dare
Danny,
you.
we get it.
Yeah.
So I will leave. No,
A lot. They're all just like...
I want to backtrack quickly and just say I'm also attracted to Chelsea. Go on.
Yeah, okay, me too.
Beautiful.
But they're all like, to me, bad guys. Even Austin, who seems like a good guy, like I thought he was in love with Chelsea. He couldn't get her, so he dated the other girl. And then when she would get jealous, he would be like, yeah, her emotions are just getting the best of her. I don't have time for that. And it's
Yeah,
like,
and he's
Yeah,
like,
he's
if she
just-
can't handle me lifting up another girl and swinging
I
her around
know.
a party,
Yeah.
then she's not for me.
oh, gross, Austin, get out of here.
that is crazy.
He's the
There's
worst.
something-
He's Austin Shep, JD Thomas, like the whole fucking clan. I hate them all. And I don't hate a lot of people, but I love Craig.
It's going to be interesting without Thomas.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how they're going to do it without Thomas.
Yeah, I thought of another reason why I don't like Cam. Do you mind if I backtrack on that?
Please.
Yeah.
So, like a few years ago, when everybody was just so mean to Catherine, and she particularly was, and she was saying, and they might have even shown a clip of it again this season, like saying to her, like, well, I just can't respect you because you keep going back to him. Like, why do you do that? And was like being mean to Catherine about her choices with Thomas. And it's like, she's 19 in an abusive relationship
Yeah.
with a 60-year-old man. So, like, I'm assuming a lot of it's out of her control. And Cameron was so mean to her for that.
Yeah.
And
I
I
agree.
think
That was not a good color in camp.
Not good.
yeah, and I think that, and I was talking to our friend Andre from Flywheel about
Love Andre.
how like a lot of these shows, like they condition the women to hate each other.
Right.
Like it's always like the women, like especially in that, the men are
how-
just such
Well, that
dirtbags.
slow-mo of the women, the breakup bunch in the beginning when those women were like,
Getting in that car.
Oh, I love that.
And you notice that they got rid of Cameron. Cameron's been having her baby and stuff. And it's like then the women they all got together.
Yeah, and I think I mean, was it Cooper, Patricia's gay friend? Was that his name?
Oh,
Her
yeah, the little
ex-gay
guy.
friend.
Yeah, who threw
ex-gay
a
friend.
founders ball, which was a non-historical event that only straight couples could come to. Like it had to be
Cooper.
male female
Everything is
couples.
still like that. Even when Patricia talks about this ball, and she's like, "In the men will be in tails, and all the girls have to come in gowns. Cocktail attire's not appropriate.
No short dresses.
You can't come in cocktail attire."
Chelsea.
yeah, where the hell is Cooper? I
think he got in a fight with
something with
someone.
him on Instagram.
Yeah.
What happened?
I thought he got in a fight with Cameron.
I feel badly for him because I feel like he probably thinks he can't come out.
He was the Dwight
Was
of
he not
Southern
out?
Charm.
Was he not out?
I
He's
don't
out.
know.
I mean, just the whole thing is so out of touch. Even when they're driving into those plantations, and Thomas is like, "This is beautiful,"
And
it's like,
Catherine's like, I remember sitting on that land under those
Yeah.
oak trees. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know.
Also, Ashley's gold digging is so like old school to me. I didn't think women
right.
still thought that was an option. That bold faced mentioning marriage every 5 seconds. I also feel like Tinsley, she must be electric in bed, right? Like that's the only reason.
Well, I think
Electric.
Thomas is with her. Electric. I think
Like
Thomas.
Ramona.
High libido.
Thomas also that thing where his sister was like, where he said that his sister said she was pretty, so he's like, so I guess I'm gonna, stick with it. Like that was like all it took.
Yeah, all it took is somebody else saying that your
How
girlfriend's
about when
pretty.
Thomas
Ugh.
was like breaking up with her and Ashley's like, I feel like I got some fight left in me. And Thomas
Right.
goes, so you're saying you want to continue this? And she was like, I guess. He's like, well, okay.
That whole
Yeah.
conversation made no sense. She was like, I think we should stay together, but like if you let me go, I'd respect you for it. And maybe you should, but like I got some fight in me. And it's like, talking
Yeah.
around it so many times. Like, are you telling him to break up with you or stay
It
with
puts
you?
such a feeling because I've had those relationships. It's like these people hate each other, truly hate each other, but are bound by some
Cameras.
kind of idea that they should be together. And cameras, yeah.
Yeah. And the guilt of actually being the one to say like it's over.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I think the last thing she said was, I still have hope. As her like eyes crossed and her mouth like shattered. It was like
Her teeth fell out.
Eyes crossed, mouth shattered. Guys, I think we might wrap up Southern Charm and take a quick break. We're back. Guys, we're going to discuss Potomac.
Yes, it's getting so good.
It's getting so good. Last 2 episodes I loved. I was
Right.
like, okay, it started off, as everyone knows, not a Housewives franchise. And I think we've all been feeling that. But like the last 2 episodes, I feel like the producers like drove down south. And were like, let's get this going.
they thought, let's get them on a vacation together.
And thank you for going to Cannes. Is that how
Yeah.
And yeah, they're also all filming
Thank you.
together a lot, which I like. All the housewives need to film like group scenes together, and when they don't do that, it falls apart.
Do you think that Chris really paid for them all to go to Cannes?
No.
Why are they? Why do we? Let's stop pretending. Like, why are we?
Well, of course, the vacation trope, and I thought Tinsley did it very seamlessly this week. That was nice, but it's so bald now.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Although
Potomac girls
Monique
are
was crying when Chris said you could go.
I mean, and Monique has been taking a lot of credit for her husband for paying for this trip.
I know. I did tear up when she was talking about her relationship with Chris and what happened.
I feel like she was tearing up because he like gave her permission. It's not that he's paying for it, right? Like they keep talking about how these men have their egos and
Right. All these relationships seem to be kind of on the edge of falling off the cliff.
Well, I think a few of them, they need to. It needs to happen. I mean, a big trend for these relationships, too, between Thomas and then also fucking Michael or whatever this guy's name is in Potomac.
Oh,
it's
Michael.
like that like father-daughter relationship.
When you got the pictures back of her singing, do you remember?
Now, I thought he was crying when she was singing. Was I wrong? I thought his eyes looked watery.
He just looked blank-faced to me.
Yeah, I think he was like, what have I done?
He's
God,
such
I
an
loved
asshole
it.
for him to say I couldn't hear you, and it was a wild move on her part, much like when
bold.
Dorit sang
Fever.
But, I mean,
"Fever."
there's too
On a
much
boat.
about...
You know, Kim is gonna sing "Wig" too.
My wig, my wig, my wig. Oh, I love that song, Casey.
Yeah,
The thing for me about Potomac is like, I know that earlier I was saying like I like it tragic and I like it a little devastating, but this one, it goes a little too deep for me. Like, I mean, that restaurant Oz, like everything, like what is that? They've showed the same piece of avocado toast that literally looks like a piece of wheat bread with
avocado.
Yeah, this is
like almost avocado, like probably mixed with mayonnaise or something, slapped on top of it, sitting under a heat lamp. They've showed that like 10 times this season.
When Oz comes on the screen, I feel truly like my soul is crying.
Yeah, it's bad.
Very like energetic. The energy is so low,
And then
the vibrations are so low at Oz.
And then to make him do a fucking open mic night?
oh, those poor souls.
I mean, oh gosh. And just watching Robin try to enjoy herself there.
Robin trying to enjoy herself anywhere. I feel like she's just
Speaking of not a stitch of makeup.
Robin, yeah.
But Robin looks amazing without makeup. But I've never seen a reality star so sleepy. She's literally
She is.
like barely can keep awake.
So
The
low
scenes,
energy.
They cut to her and her eyes are like half mad.
Yeah, she's like, I'm here for the paycheck. Like, that's what she's here for.
And it's wild.
Yeah.
And I personally love the trope of like the gate check gathering. Like they always like meet
Right.
outside the airport, but Robin wasn't there. She was
Yes.
sleepily like I'll be there.
Robin was sleeping the whole fucking episode.
Now, look, I have a confession to make. When Giselle got mad that Monique went to first class with Charisse, it was hard for me because I have often flown first class and Danielle's in coach.
Well, I don't think it's that. I mean, I don't.
But
think
we
it's
made
that
our own
bad.
choices, and Danielle told me she didn't care, and it was just one time, and I was pregnant.
I would do it if she was
like
pregnant or
8
not.
months pregnant.
I'd be the one in coach.
But that to me is like the core of why I love Housewives. It's like, yes, I want you fighting about being upgraded to first class.
Yes.
I want you fighting about like who's in the junior suite. Like those are the fights that I'm looking for at the core.
And that's why Robin is so sleepy. She was like, "You can take the room."
Robin didn't even know where she was.
Yeah, Robin was not interested in like playing Ramona and Sonia's games about the room. Yeah,
Yeah, you made her a Robin in
remember
New
in
York.
Aspen when Lou was put in like the maid's quarters?
In the basement.
It was on the same floor.
There was no windows.
And she's never forgotten it. Every vacation, she's like, well, last time.
I was in the basement.
And she was engaged, right? She just got engaged, so she felt like she deserved more than
She was just with Tom.
She was like, this is my happy time.
She was.
Meanwhile, on the Nest cam, Tom's like fucking everyone at the Regency.
Lou's waking up over in the basement, just yelling, water.
If the New York women love if the New York producers love their girls, I feel like the Potomac producers hate Karen because they do her so dirty.
And she's the only one that's a little. I mean, the rest of them are all like they're. Well, I mean, I don't mean to say they're all grounded because like they're not all grounded, but like she has the most delusion about her.
Yeah.
Like
Karen is absolutely insane.
She's she is perfect reality TV though. Like of all these women in any franchise, like Karen's at the top of the list. She's a Leanne Locken, like an undeserved or an underappreciated talent.
But see, Leanne to me is very charming underneath it all.
Yeah.
Karen,
At the roundup.
I know the boys who did it. I mean,
He
what a
got
moment.
his dick sucked at the roundup. I don't feel we covered enough.
No,
You
go
can't
back,
cover it
please.
enough.
You can't. I mean, what a moment. What a moment.
I'm just picturing her naked with a gown on.
Like, and she was so intense.
Behind
His
the doors.
dick sucked.
At the roundup.
I know the boys who did it. It was like she was fire in her mouth and vocals. And you know they film at the Roundup this coming season.
Thank God.
They do something there.
I feel like the Roundup is their
Can't
Regency.
wait. I know the Roundup. Oh, I love the Roundup. I want to go.
I think that Karen is. I think it's like watching someone. Like it's almost too sad. Like Robin's story is a beautiful story that I want to see, but maybe on TLC.
She's
not.
also gotten into like trump cards. Like Karen does that Trump thing of she like deflects and she attacks right back and she denies and she lies, and I feel like that opening shot of her in that palatial mansion pouring champagne for two alone is like a window into her soul.
Right.
Okay, this was the first time I feel like I saw them make reference to the show. Ashley's like, Karen's just renting this house for entertainment purposes.
For our entertainment.
They did it one other time when the mime showed up at the
the
fight
mime.
that they were.
Oh my God, that
Emmy
mime.
Award caliber comedy
mime.
happening right there.
I
But
can't
they were
get
like,
over it. I thought I saw it all.
they were like, this mime just wants to be on camera, and they like actually left it in because it was just so good.
And Karen's looking at the crew. She's like, I'm leaving. And the mime is like, then the mime starts shimmying and like sexually.
Again, that somebody
loved it.
is like, that is my
I felt-
dad. That is my
Right.
coworker.
I see him at Chipotle sometimes.
That is my uncle.
I loved him. I thought I saw it all on Housewives, and then he showed up, and I was like, oh my God, I've never seen this before. I was like, my blood was rushing. I felt so good.
And I thought, he's just going to mime a little and give out the invitation.
No.
He never
No, he was on camera a lot.
gave
He
the
did?
invitation. Never. Karen stormed out. I love how Giselle is one of my favorite housewives of all time.
I love
she's
her.
great.
She's so good. She's so gorgeous. I love how she was so charmed by that. She was laughing
She
at the
liked it.
mime while
Yeah.
Karen is still yelling at Giselle while a mime is pantomiming behind her.
I think
a fight with a mime.
Like they like when they get in fights, like the way that they can talk to each other and resolve a conflict. It's like
Right.
I was going to
I'm
say the
charmed
way
by her.
that Giselle can shift between like venomous attack and compassion is like when she was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
attacking Monique about the first class thing, and Monique was like, "Well, I had a fight," and she just like switched into compassion mode. It was
Yes.
shocking.
that was wild.
Giselle employs stillness, which is so powerful.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
She waits to attack.
Yeah, and she doesn't move her body at all. She seems so kind of, I don't know. There's just something about it where she's not exploding. It's much scarier.
Erica Jane.
Erica Jane-ish. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Zach.
Could I switch gears and ask now what's up with Ashley and Michael always drinking Corona Light?
I know.
When she picked up, she said something like, "It's fishier than a coochie," and then picked up that straw and drank
Sipped it.
from the Corona
I know.
from the straw.
In the confessional.
I mean,
When she said fishy like a coochie.
Like a coochie.
That's what she
Yeah,
said, right?
That's what she said, I think.
She was like, that was a little fishy like a coochie, and then drank a beer with a straw. I was like,
What franchise are we on?
I was like, thank you.
This is Summer House?
I love it.
Yeah, I loved it.
I really.
These girls are all giving it.
I like Ashley. I feel for her. Do you think Ashley's in love with Michael?
Okay, no, I mean, with a lot of these people, I come from a place of like deep compassion. Like she didn't have a dad. I do. Like, well, anything. Like I just watched the Rachel Dolezal documentary before I came here. Found a lot of compassion there. Like I just feel like everybody is damaged, and that explains why they're all crazy. I'm not saying that people aren't crazy. And her dad left her when she was young. I mean, so I think that like whatever you love somebody, however you love them, but I think that it's all stemming from needing someone to make her feel safe and provide for her.
And I do think she's a very loving person. And I thought Sheila, her mom, made such a turnaround.
When she was giving her mom that like checklist, that one episode.
Well, I thought Sheila was too devastating before, but now I'm like, is Sheila wanting money or is Sheila being genuine? Because I thought she seemed very genuine.
Yeah, I think they're genuine.
Yeah.
To me, I put Ashley in that like Shannon Bedore category. Like I don't know that I want to see these things, but I love that she is signing a prenup on national television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potomac should be called prenup.
Right.
They're never not negotiating a prenup.
Right.
Everywhere they go.
Episode.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Potomac's giving us a lot of stuff too that we just don't see on the other franchises. Like that whole drunk driving thing that would have been hidden on any other franchise, but like Potomac is doing it. They're giving it to us. I mean, like a lot of their storylines are just things we're not seeing on other shows.
But like what the fuck is Potomac? Like, I mean,
again, I'll speak to that living in Alexandria, Virginia, which is right next to Arlington where Ashley lives. It's interesting because you would never in Atlanta, for instance, or like Beverly Hills, then they wouldn't put a sign up that said like Los Feliz, like where I live, which is adjacent. But because Potomac is such a small, it's not iconic, they keep flashing to signs of like the nearby suburbs. Today they said Arlington, then I've seen like Falls Church. I saw Bethesda. I'm like, what's there?
Yeah,
and what do they do? I mean, they're just going to like fundraisers.
A lot of charity, it seems like.
Yeah, but more power to them that they're always together.
Also, they're always they have like stages of their businesses too. Like, what are they teaching them in business school there? It's like businesses in stages.
Okay, I want to get to the bottom quickly of Monique's website, Not for Lazy Moms. I can't understand it. Is it that you are lazy or you're not?
Well, this is what I think it is. NFL moms.
Not for lazy moms.
Her husband was in the NFL.
Oh, that makes sense.
That does make sense, but...
And the link is just www.nflmoms.com.
Oh, so she worked off NFL and came up with Not for Lazy Moms.
I feel like that it was like NFL moms to begin with, and then she was like, what can I make it stand for? Not for lazy moms.
Like when I did acrostic poems when I was little.
Yeah.
Okay, so Not for Lazy Moms, meaning like, because I am a lazy mom, so it's like, not for me? Is that what
Not for lazy.
You're not a lazy mom.
I'm not, but I'm not getting essential oils out
because I think you have to be a not lazy mom to get essential oils and like give them to the
lazy
head.
moms.
I love when Monique was doing that speech and she was crying about like marrying an athlete. And like 5 of the women were like,
We get
and
that.
like all
Been
crying.
there.
They've all been there.
Yeah.
I love it so
was
much.
Great. Yeah. Also made me look at it differently. Like I've watched like Basketball Wives and stuff before, and it's like they gave me the Potomac girls gave me a different perspective on dating or being married to a sports player.
In what way?
Like it was just deeper. I've never thought about the women in that way of like this. As soon as they get a little bit of attention, the men get jealous.
Oh,
I've just never thought of it in that.
I think that's how they.
Did you watch Southern Charm New Orleans? The spinoff. Okay, so there was a big heavy
Draw the line.
So I'm down here in the dirt. So I don't worry. There was a similar storyline there where there was the football guys that are suffering from these concussions and might. So there was a heavy conversation about that.
Heavy. That is very, very heavy. I briefly want to touch on Candace. Candace was trying to drum up empathy and support so many times for the fact that Chris called her a princess. Literally people that had never met her, people that were dear friends of hers were like, you are. And it was just, and she kind of was like, well, she was like, this is the most hurtful thing anyone can call me. And that woman, I thought she was going to go the other way. She goes, having just met you, I can truly say you are.
Yes.
Also, her response to him like that, I don't know if it was a text or an email. She's like, you're a clone of your deadbeat dad. Like, fuck off, fuck you. Like, it was just the most horrific response to someone just calling you a princess.
And even Karen was like, you crossed the line.
Like, you went a little too far.
Now, speaking of Karen, Blair, you had a scene that devastated you.
Yeah, I just
Wow.
when they're all in the lobby and they're showing everyone's gaudy shoes, and then they cruise over to Karen's little sneakers.
Snakes.
And
There's nothing wrong with sneakers, but the way they did
way
it.
they
did
did
it.
it,
I mean,
yeah.
they made her look like trash for doing it. It made me think like, that's low. They were
Slow
calling
motion.
them CVS sneakers.
Slow motion
And I
pan.
feel like she just thought like I'm walking around as a tourist.
She had they were like
going to look at
Bazookas
oils.
or something.
When Giselle said she showed up wearing CVS shoes and a sideways wig.
Sideways wig. Oh.
My heart
Sideways
broke
wig.
there. That was just like, oh, that's too. I mean, that was like too close to home or something.
You know,
like
See, I
I've showed up
hate-
somewhere in sneakers where people. Actually, I was at a baby shower recently where somebody did make fun of me, or it was like a bridal thing, and someone said something about wearing sneakers.
Karen
so maybe
and,
too close to home.
Karen and Giselle have such
Seems like that really.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why that was the saddest thing I've seen
And you
on
also
TV.
texted me that. You were like, I can't believe what's happening with the shoes.
I think Karen and Giselle have that like love-hate relationship that we want out of LVP and Kyle, but I feel like LVP and Kyle don't fully go there on their franchise, but like Giselle and Karen are going there.
Because Kyle's too normal.
Right.
I also feel like if the New York women are like authentically themselves, I can feel Giselle and Karen like they're like amping. They like want to be rivals. They're like, I think they're like real friends, and they're like, let's have some tiffs this season.
Yeah. I like it.
I don't care for Charisse. And she's a part-time player, but she's getting a lot of airtime. Too much
Yeah.
airtime
Yeah.
for my liking. And Zach,
Yeah.
you caught her saying something amazing.
I kind of like.
So it wasn't even on her, and there's like a wide shot of them getting off the helicopter, and she just goes, "Life is worth living."
Life is worth living.
Life is worth living.
I think she gives a lot of good looks. Like they'll show her reacting to things. Like when, I think it was like annoying ass Ashley or Candace like came to the room to when they were in Cannes or whatever, and it just showed Charisse sitting there rolling her eyes. I love that. She did that a couple
Monique
times.
has got
too.
some
Robin
crazy
was asleep.
reactions.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin was asleep in the chair. I swear,
Robin's always
Robin
in
was
the
like in a
corners.
tracksuit sleeping. It was amazing. But Monique is giving so many reaction shots, and I won't compliment myself on much, but I can do some reaction shots that are way over the top, and people are like, we can't use those. But I felt Monique in the stand-up, in the open mic. She was giving like the eyebrows, the
Right.
scared, the shakes. Like I loved it. Guys, anything else?
I was
Close
gonna
us
say,
out.
I just wanted to talk about just really briefly about the disgusting white men that both Ashley and Candace are with. Like the one Chris, like they just say gross things. Like that one Chris said when Candace was saying what she wanted, and he just like what she wanted in the marriage, and he just said something like, "I just want to make sure I get laid every night." And it's like, oh, gross.
He's
And him
so
like
disgusting.
when he flopped off that balcony into the pool at the party a few episodes, he had like a little undershirt on,
Yeah, gross.
and I'm like, that is so nasty.
Oh my God, how about when Candace said in testimonial, which is just so self-centered, she goes, I did not get what I expected out of Chris. I did not think life would give me a man with children. But so he needs to give me something in return. It's like, why does he owe you for having kids? Like you've made some huge concession. It's like,
I mean, but he's bad too. That one time, like when they got in that weird fight, when she was making him hold her purse. And then he said to her, and she accepted it when he said to her, I will continue to check you every time you get out of line. I mean, imagine if your husband said
I don't
that to
like
you.
that.
I know.
I'm going to check you?
I'm going to check you.
and he was basically like, you spoiled fucking brat. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck that your room looks out to a wall.
I did write down one quick thing before we move on. Ashley has a Charlie's Angels phone case. I paused the frame.
Danny, you're a soulmate. I saw it all and I'm like, what was above her fingers? Was
Oh
it
my
a
God.
picture of like her and two girlfriends?
Well, so I only saw, like, I paused it and you can only see Charlie's Angels at the bottom. And I was like, what iteration of Charlie's Angels was this? I was thinking, like, is she a fan of, like, the Lucy Liu, Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz
100%.
franchise, right?
100%.
Yeah. Or just, like, I don't know, but it was just, like, well, it's
I
really
love it.
But see,
dated.
what I thought is like maybe it's like someone gave it to her of like her friends posing.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe not.
I only
in
saw,
the
but
Charlie's Angel?
Yeah, you know how
my
like
heart breaks.
but is
again.
that
All
worse?
of it.
you know
Is
how
that
like
worse?
people who think they're fun will do the Charlie's Angels pose
Yeah.
or the like Titanic boat.
I've done it
Yeah,
at least
I'm
10
saying
times
that's-
both.
Oh, I love them both.
Devastating. Both of them.
Both iconic poses.
Guys, speaking of devastating and iconic poses, we have come to the end of our time together. I feel like we got to a lot.
So fun. So much going on.
Yeah.
Your guys' encyclopedic knowledge of every single show on every single network is inspiring and upsetting. And I want to say, we brought a fan on and it really worked. Thank you so much, Zachary Sergi. Do you want to promote
Yeah, if you want to find me, it's ZacharySergi.com. I write interactive novels, and there's a housewife superhero in one of them, so check it out.
Oh.
I love that. Danny Pelligrino, you are funny as hell.
Thank you so much. Oh my
I
God, you're
love,
the best. And,
love having you. Tell us more where we can find you.
well, check out my podcast. It's called Everything Iconic. And once a week, we do like housewives breakdowns. And then my social media is at Danny Pelligrino. And then I also just have to say, I went to the very first live Bitch Sesh show, and it was electric. Like I remember, so like this is such a dream for me. So I'm so excited.
My friend said it was like a Trump rally.
No, it was like
In terms of the enthusiasm.
the energy was insane. The only time I've ever seen energy even close to that, like even in the same vicinity as Countess and Friends, where it's like everyone's such a fan of this, and it was like the Bitch Sesh live, the very first show. Like I've seen not to brag, but I've seen a lot of people live, but like that show was incredible. Like that energy in the room, insane.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Danielle's always like, you know what? If people are paying, we got to give them a show.
Yeah, you did.
And I agree.
You did.
Thank you for saying that. You're so lovely. And finally, my dear friend Blair Beeken, you are so funny, and you had some tough insights.
Sorry, I know I felt a little nasty.
But I loved them all. I really
you.
did. You have both depth of compassion and none at all.
Thank you. Thanks for seeing that depth of compassion.
And none at all. Did you hear that part?
She didn't hear that part.
She didn't hear it.
Blocked it out.
I was basking in the glow of the first
Blocked
part.
it out.
I know. Guys, this was so much fun. Thank you all.
Thank
you
you.
for
This
having
has been
me.
a blast.
So fun.
Bye.
Bye.
And guys, quickly, I won't take up any more of your time on this, but one little update on the Comfort campaign, for which so many listeners gave us so much money. We just sent out a second 15-foot truck and delivered to Austin, Phoenix, and El Cajon and El Paso, Texas, with thousands of bears and letters for all the kids. I cannot tell you how gratifying this has been. You can follow us on the Comfort campaign. We have an Instagram and we have a Facebook page to keep up with what we're doing. We're actually going to pivot the movement and just kind of try to bring comfort in the form of bears and letters to kids that need it. So if you have any suggestions, please send them my way. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.